Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be testing out some new makeup that I just got today from a recent order with BH Cosmetics. I did a video about a week and a half ago. I don't know if I have posted that video yet. I think this video might go up before that one. But I talked a bit about BH Cosmetics in that video, how impressed I am with their eyeshadow formulas, and it got me to thinking, it has been a while since I've ordered from them. So I jumped onto their website and boy did I end up with a lot of stuff in my cart. For around $50, I got all of this stuff. I have a new mascara, a face palette, some brow products, a couple of eyeshadow palettes, even a liquid lipstick, which is not something I even knew that they offered. And we are going to be playing with it all today. This is the completed makeup look that I will be creating. Very impressed with a lot of these products and some of them surprised me a bit. So we'll get into it. Before we do, a special welcome if you are a new visitor here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure that you subscribe and have those notifications turned on before you leave. And with that said, let's get right to it. So let me walk you guys through what I picked up. So I picked up two eyeshadow palettes, two larger eyeshadow palettes, the Amalfi Coast eyeshadow palette, this one right here. And then this one was actually included free because I went over the $50 mark. Initially, I think I was around $46. So I added a couple dollars worth of product to my cart so that I could qualify for this free palette. This is the Los Angeles palette, or the Lost in Los Angeles palette. Look how colorful this one is. I haven't yet compared them side by side, but man, if you are looking for an alternative to the Natasha Denona pastel palette, this is totally giving me pastel palette vibes. Very, very pretty. There are a couple of shades in here, wow, that look gorgeous. So pretty. We'll probably stick with this one today. I also got this tiny palette, the Egypt palette. It's just one of their little quads. I've had my eye on these for a couple of years. Pretty basic color story, but I think this thing was around like $5 or $6. And then I got a small face quad. This is the Tahiti face quad. I think this is the one that's supposed to be for lighter skin tones. They have, I think, 3 different color versions. The colors in this look beautiful. I kind of feel like the pan sizes are a little bit smaller than I wish that they were, but that said, it is nice and travel friendly. We'll probably try this one out today as well. And then I got a single highlighter. This is their Sun Flex highlighter. I went with the shade Beverly Hills, which is kind of like a gold. I'm hoping this isn't gonna be too dark on me, but wait, there's more. I also picked up a mascara. We'll try this mascara out. I think this was very cheap. It was on sale when I placed my order. I think this might have been what I went back and put into my cart. I also got a couple of brow products. They're Laminate Hold Brow Gel. I already opened this up to kind of see what it was like. It smells exactly like glue, like the white Elmer's glue that you get for your kids in school. I'm kind of thinking that's what this is. We'll try it out today though. I also got a brow pencil. This is their Precision Icon brow pencil. Happy to see they have a brow pencil back. And then last but not least, I got this tiny little liquid lipstick that we'll try out as well. So let's just jump right in. I want to start off with the face. So we're going to go into the Tahiti palette. Here's a little close up of this palette. Very, very cute. I'm a big fan of this packaging and the font and the little stamp on it. I love the travel theme. I think it's super, super cute. Okay, so let's find some smaller brushes to apply this because we are working with some very small pan sizes here. We're gonna start off with the bronzer. I think I wanna dip into this cool tone or cooler toned one first. This is just an angled brush from Sydney Grace. Actually, I don't usually use this type of a brush for my bronzer, but it is nice and small. Great color. And now I'm going to dip into just a touch of the warmer bronzer and just throw that slightly on top of where I put that cooler tone bronzer. Let's go down the sides, the temples. All right, so far so good. Let's add some blush. For this one, I'm going to take my Rephr blush brush, tap it into that pink blush. This looks like it might be more of a satin finish. Might have a bit of glow in it. Very pretty. For everyday use, I would prefer something larger than this. I just think it's easier to work with pan sizes that are bigger than this. But for travel, if you're trying to conserve some space, I can see how this would be really nice to have and take with you. And so far, so good. All right, so let's quickly, I want to take a little swatch of the highlighter in the Tahiti palette. Okay, that looks like just the type of highlighter I love. Really nice and icy, a nice kind of icy champagne. And then let's swatch this one. This is the Sunflex highlighter in the shade Beverly Hills. Here's a little close-up of this highlighter. This one I am a little concerned is gonna be too dark for me. I'll probably be able to wear it, especially in the summertime, but you can see it has quite a bit more gold in it. Ooh, which one do we want to wear? Okay, let's wear them both. I know this is a little excessive, but we're gonna start with the gold one and then do a tiny like pinpoint highlight with the lighter champagne from the Tahiti palette, just right on the very tippy top of my cheekbone. So starting in this one, I'm gonna take this highlighter brush right here. This is from Sydney Grace. And we're gonna place that a little bit lower on my cheekbone. Yeah, this is probably not the perfect shade for me. If you have a medium skin tone and you like a warm gold highlighter, it's very pretty. I just don't know that it really goes with my skin tone. Darn it, I wish I would have gone with a lighter shade. Okay, now dipping back into the Tahiti palette, I'm just gonna take a tiny bit right on the tip of this same brush. This we're going to apply a little higher, just on the outer part of the cheekbone. I kind of want to apply a little bit up to my brow bone as well, and a little bit to the center of my nose. Okay, you guys see how intense that one is? Much better color for me. That's beautiful. Guys, I'm very, very happy with this palette. Other than the pan sizes, the shades themselves, really great. Okay, let's move on to the eyebrows. So I got this Laminate brow gel. It really is just like Elmer's glue. I have a feeling this is gonna be a very interesting product. I don't think I've ever worked with anything quite like this before. In fact, I better get the box that it came in and read the instructions. Let's see. It just says, in the event of contact with eyes, rinse well with clean water. Yikes. Okay, we'll just kind of wing it. I also picked up this brow pencil. I ended up going with the shade medium brown. Seemed like they didn't have like a lighter shade than this. I think this might have been the lightest one that they had. That said though, I don't think this is super dark. It might be a smidge on the warm side. I usually like my browns to be very ashy, to have no warmth in them whatsoever, but we'll see. We'll give this one a try. So I don't have anything in my brows right now. I actually did have a little bit of a tinted brow gel in my brows before I filmed this video because I was at the school this morning for Moms and Muffins and I didn't want to go to the school without anything in my brows. So I did wipe it off before I filmed this video though. Give this a little test. I'm gonna start on the underside, turn it sideways and kind of flick upwards. I like the consistency of this. It's nice and stiff. I'm seeing that it's warmer than I typically like, but I wouldn't say it's so warm that it's unusable for me. It doesn't look bad. I just usually like my brows to be very ashy and mousy. All right, now the moment of truth. They also had a brow kind of wax that looks a little bit like the ABH or the e.l.f. brow lift. I just didn't feel like I needed to try another one of those. I have a high-end version I like. I have an affordable version that I like. And this just looked so different than anything that I had tried before that had to give it a try today. So I'm guessing we're just gonna take a tiny bit on my finger. I don't wanna apply too much at first. So I'm just kind of rubbing that into my brows and then I'm gonna take a spoolie. Actually, let me take the back end of that pencil and just brush it through. Oh my goodness, it smells. I feel like it smells like an art project with my daughter. The amount of glue that girl goes through, she is the craft queen. Holy moly, you guys. So for those of you that don't know a ton about me, I have 3 boys. They're all a little bit older. My youngest boy is almost 13. And then I have Charlie. She is my daughter. She's 6. And after having 3 boys, it's so interesting to me how different she is. She loves crafting and coloring. There's some things about her that are kind of tomboyish, but she has a lot of just natural like girl in her. It's really fun and interesting to watch, but she is the queen of crafts. She spends so much time crafting and cutting and coloring and writing and gluing things together and working with pipe cleaners and those little puffy balls and foam stickers. None of my boys were ever into that kind of thing. It's fascinating. All right, there we go. So I don't know, maybe I didn't apply enough. I know it's supposed to be like a laminating brow product, but I didn't really want to plaster my brows to my face. But I don't know, but they are feeling kind of stiff, like a soft stiff. It's like a medium whole hairspray. It's kind of what I'm getting right now. That one's probably going to take me a little bit of practice to figure out how to use that product. So far though, I feel like they look pretty decent. Let's move on to the eyeshadow. So as I mentioned, I have 3 palettes today. Let me just insert a couple close-ups of these 2. First off, this one right here, the little Egypt quad. Very cute palette. Very simple, basic color story, but totally usable. I didn't really need this, but it was only a couple of dollars, so I figured why not? Maybe I'll hold off on using this one and like gift it to someone. I don't know, we'll see. Then this one right here was the freebie. I just love the packaging on this one. It makes me want to take a trip to California. Lost in Los Angeles. Very, very colorful. I'll insert a close-up for you guys right here along with the swatches. You can have a look at these colors. As intimidating and colorful as this palette seems though, you guys, some of these colors look really gorgeous and interesting. Look at this matte white right here. Holy smokes, I love a good matte white. I think it's such a versatile shadow that you would never think of using. In fact, what we might do today, because I did notice as I was looking at the Amalfi Coast palette, as much as I think the color story is really beautiful, there's not a lot of light tones in here, so maybe we'll use that matte white underneath one of these shimmers to kind of give it some brightness. I don't know, maybe that's cheating, but we might try that today. I'm just loving this shimmery green, this shimmery pink, this peach right here is so pretty, you guys. Ooh, this looks like a fun one. We'll hold off on this one for today though, and I think I want to use the Amalfi Coast one. This is the palette that I really went to BH Cosmetics to buy and ended up with all of this other stuff. It's a really interesting looking palette. It looks a lot like the Hangin' in Hawaii palette, but deeper and slightly different. But it kind of reminds me of that one. I do think though, like I'm finding myself wishing that some of these shimmers were maybe a little bit lighter. We'll see when we apply them. Maybe they won't be as dark as they're looking in the pan. Sometimes that can be the case, but I do like the color story. I think it's very pretty. I like the mixture of browns, peaches, pinks. You can get like a couple mustards right here. So let's just jump into this palette. I'm gonna use my rougher brushes today. Why don't we start off in this pink color right here? This is the shade Salerno. I'm trying to put on my best Italian accent. I'm kidding. I'm gonna try very hard not to pretend like I know how to speak Italian or have an Italian accent, because I'm sure I will offend somebody at just how terrible my attempt would be. I've always thought it would be fun to take some sort of acting accent class, like learn how to speak English but in different accents. Fascinates me that people can do that. For so long, I didn't even realize that Tom Holland was not American. My kids had to tell me, no, he's British. And then I saw an interview with him and I was like, huh, just on that same brush, just right on the tip, and I'm gonna run that right under this outer corner right here. Very nice. Now I wanna jump over to this shade right here. This is La Dolce Vita. Same brush, I'm just taking it right on the tip. This is just a step darker. We're gonna take this one right through the socket, pull it down towards the lash line. Grab my rougher number 2, this little flat kind of smudge brush. We're gonna take that same shade, the Dolce Vita, just a tiny bit, and run it right along the lashes, just on the outer third of the lower lash line, and then also along the upper third of the top lash line. Okay, now I want to add even more depth at that outer corner by taking this dark brown right here. This is Maori or something like that. For that, I'm taking my number 13 brush. I'm gonna dip into that shade and start right at the lashes. Just tap along those lashes and then pull upwards and in slightly. All right, now back to that larger blending brush. I'm just gonna take this brush with what's left on it from before and just kind of blend around those edges. Blend all those shades together. All right, now let's add a couple of shimmers. I want to go into this one first. This is Praiano. It's kind of a pink toned, like a rosy bronze shimmer. This is gonna go just on the outer half of the lid. Very pretty color. Okay, I'm gonna wipe my finger off and just smudge that over that edge. No harsh line there. I'm gonna take that small blending brush, I wiped it off, and I'm just gonna lightly blend around the edge of that shimmer. Okay, now before we go into the lighter shimmer over here, I think we'll probably use this peach. I want to first dip into this Los Angeles palette. This is just a basic matte white, but it's very pigmented. I'm gonna take that on a flat brush and just pop a tiny bit of that on the inner third of my lid to give this kind of a nice white base. Look how pigmented that is, you guys. It almost looks blue. That's really just because it's so white. But once we put the gold over the top, I think it will add a nice bit of brightness to it. I know it looks a little strange right now. Now we're gonna go back over to this palette. So I have these two shades that I'm leaning towards. There's this gold right here in the bottom corner. This is the shade Sitara, or Positano, which is this peach champagne, or, oh, this is tough. This one's a little bit brighter, but it is more yellow in tone. Let's go with the peach. So I'm going to apply that just right on the inner part of my lid and tapping it towards the center. I see kind of that brightness that white gives just that inner part of my lid, which I really like because I kind of find my eyes need that. They need that brightness there, but it also kind of took away that blue tone. Same on this side, starting on the inner part and then tapping towards the center, and I'm slowly working my way in to overlap that white. Okay, that looks beautiful. I want to go back into that first shade that we used, that light pink, Salerno. Take a little bit on that fluffy blending brush, and we're just gonna run this above this outer part of my crease, just to add a little bit of that pink back to that outer corner. And also just kind of add a little bit more, also just to diffuse that outer corner out a little bit more. Very, very pretty. All right, not bad. Okay, there it is, very pretty. Classic BH Cosmetics formula that I am used to. Love their shimmers and their mattes. They blend so well, they're so pigmented. Beautiful, beautiful shimmers. I love that. Let's add a little bit of liner. I'm gonna take my Wet n Wild liner. Just wanna do a tiny wing. And I do have a new mascara to try out. I've never tried out a mascara from BH Cosmetics. Have they done a mascara before? They actually had 2, maybe even 3 mascaras available. This is the one I went with. I went with the Bold Ego, which is their big volume mascara. Very cute packaging. I think this stuff was also pretty cheap. I want to say it was like $6 or $7. Here's a close-up of what it looks like. See, it has this nice kind of fluffy brush, just like a traditional fluffy non-rubberized brush. So I did already curl my lashes. I'm just going to apply a thick coat of this. I have no expectations of this mascara. I don't know. I don't think there were any reviews or anything. If there were, I didn't read any reviews. I just kind of threw it in my cart. Okay, there are the finished eyes along with mascara. Pretty impressed with that mascara so far. It applied really well. I think it's nice and volumizing. It's very full looking. It's pretty lengthening. It was also easy to build up a couple of coats. Sometimes volumizing mascaras I find difficult to coat more than once because they can kind of get clumpy. I don't think this did that though. We will see how it wears. Hopefully it won't smudge or flake or run. We'll see how it removes by the end of the day. I'll keep wearing it for the rest of today and then again tomorrow. So by the time this video goes up, I'll have a better idea. So check for that update down below. One more thing to try out. This is a liquid lipstick. I don't know why I threw this in my cart. It may have been extremely cheap, like $2 or $3. This is the Nude Ego liquid lipstick. This one is in the shade Gorge. Let's just give it a little swatch on the back of my hand. The shade looks really nice. Looks like a really pretty shade. Let's just give this a little try. I do already have just a little bit of my Shockwave lip liner and my Persona Pink lip gloss. But I put those on like an hour ago, so most of those have worn off. I'm gonna let that kind of dry down. Still waiting for the full dry down? I don't know, maybe this doesn't fully dry down. It's still feeling kind of creamy, but very mattified. It's probably been a minute and a half so far. I have to keep playing with that one. That's an interesting formula. I feel like it's not setting down 100%. Let's add a little bit of gloss on top. Let's just go back in with my Persona Pink lip gloss. And here we have it, guys. This is the completed look using a whole bunch of stuff from BH Cosmetics. Pretty impressed so far. Some of this stuff I'm gonna need some more time with. The brow gel, most of all, that brow gel Very interesting. It's not as stiff as I was thinking it might feel. I'm gonna keep playing with how much product to use though. I feel like if I use too much more, I'm worried it's gonna kind of harden too much or get like a white cast. But as I get to know it a little bit better, I'll keep you guys updated. I'll also keep you updated on the liquid lipstick. Kind of interesting actually. I wasn't real excited about that product. It was kind of just something I threw into my cart, but we shall see. I really do like the color. As for everything else, the mascara, I will keep you posted on. Check down below for an update on this. I do like how it looks on my lashes. It was really easy to apply. The brow pencil I also like. It's a little warmer than I'm used to, but it's not too warm to where I don't feel like I'll reach for this. I really like the formula. It felt a lot like my Ulta Beauty or the Benefit Precisely My Brow. The shadows are beautiful. Love this eye look today. Honestly, guys, as excited as I was and am about this Amalfi Coast palette, it does look a lot like the Hangin' in Hawaii palette to me. I'm sure it's not an exact dupe, but I am surprisingly really eager to dip into this Los Angeles palette. While I probably wouldn't reach for some of these bold colors, there are some shades in here that are really speaking to me. So I almost wish I would have tried this one out today. Even though I like this eyeshadow look, I just feel like there's some shades in here that I can see being exceptionally beautiful. So I will keep you posted on this one. Don't you guys think that's so cute? It has the little BH Hollywood star. So fun. Who doesn't love Hollywood stars? I'll be sure to give this Egypt palette a try. I do love how tiny and travel friendly it is. It actually reminds me a lot of that Pat McGrath palette I just bought. Only 4 shades in this one. I'm sure it's not exactly the same, but definitely was a lot cheaper than that palette was. The Sunflex highlighter, I like the formula. I feel like I picked the wrong shade. I might get some use out of this in the summertime. I do think it's a little bit dark for me right now. However, this Tahiti quad, although the pan sizes I was a little disappointed in when I first saw them. I really love these shades and formulas. It created this really beautiful cheek look going on. Absolutely love this. If you have fair skin or light skin, I think this is a perfect shade range. But that's gonna do it for today's trying out new makeup from BH Cosmetics. What have you tried out from BH Cosmetics in the last year or so that has worked really well for you or even not worked for you? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys for joining me today. Hope you guys are all doing well. Let me give you one final reminder. If you have not yet subscribed, please do that before you leave, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!